now live in a societal shift between responsibility to irresponsibility, always finding the fastest shortcut, the person or system to blame, or the drug to take for fast results. We saw this over the decades with the use of steroids to achieve your dream physique in a matter of months. But what if I told you there are new drugs in the market that your friend could be taking, even your mother or sister? Weight loss drugs such as Ozempic, Wegovy or Zepbound are ravaging the drug markets fast. With their high success rates with dropping weight fast on its users, these are meant to be prescription-based drugs only. However, many users are purchasing these on rather shady shops such as TikTok and Chinese-owned online sites. So what are these drugs? Let's take Ozempic, as that's one of the most popular ones. From a diabetes perspective, Ozempic increases the levels of incretins, hormones which are naturally produced by the stomach when you eat. It works by helping your body to produce more insulin when needed. It also reduces the amount of glucose or sugar produced by the liver and slows down how quickly food is digested. Now let's look at the definition from more of a weight loss perspective. Ozempic works by mimicking a naturally occurring hormone. As those hormone levels rise, the molecules go to your brain telling you if you're full. It also slows your digestion by increasing the time it takes for food to leave the body. So essentially for diabetes, it manages insulin better in your body, which is extremely important. And insulin is really the secret gun in managing weight gain, weight loss, and even muscle building. For example, some pro bodybuilders actually consume insulin along with other stacks of anabolics. Weight loss, it basically just makes you feel full for the majority of the time. And this is what a lot of users are saying. A prominent doctor who took it to lose weight said the same thing, that he was waking up in the mornings simply not feeling hungry. Now on a personal level, I don't view this as a positive thing. Not feeling hungry? Feeling hungry is essential for energy regulation. The primary purpose of hunger is to ensure that our bodies receive enough energy to function properly. Our bodies require a constant supply of calories to fuel metabolic processes, maintain bodily functions, and support physical activity. Now, I understand. For people that are perhaps extremely obese and consuming way over their means, their energy reserves are plentiful, they could easily lose some of that. But let's face it, the majority of people taking these drugs are mostly not extremely overweight. They have a few pounds here and there to lose maybe, which could be done very easily with simple reduction of calories and more physical output. That's it. So what you might be wondering is, do these drugs have any side effects? It's the reason you clicked on this video, after all. Well, if you do a quick Google search of popular weight loss drugs such as Ozempic, for example, almost every single result or study only gives positive reviews and results with these drugs. And the crazy thing is, Ozempic is not even officially approved for weight loss. It's only approved for diabetes. Go on Google and search it for yourself. Multitude of studies citing and articles online giving its praises to these weight loss drugs. But there is a dark side, and finding that dark side wasn't that easy. I had to do some digging. Firstly, I reviewed the clinical review report from the National Institutes of Health. Now, I can't overstate this enough. These studies and understanding these are very high level at times. It's almost as if they purposely make these high level in order for the majority of people now to just read them and not understand it. As you can see, it's riddled with wasteful information and data and results that just isn't relevant. But I managed to get something from this, and I noticed a few things. For example, this review took a total of 8 studies that were identical from the literature they were using. These trials elevated the efficiency and safety of SAM 0.5 milligrams or 1 milligrams once weekly, alone or in combination with oral anti-diabetic drugs such as OAD, such as MAT or MAT+, or insulin. Compared with a placebo or active comparators in adults with T2DM and inadequate glycemic control with background therapy, all 3 placebo-controlled trials and 1 active controlled trial included a randomized double-blind treatment period, and all other active controlled trials had an open-label design. In all trials, the patients who met the inclusion criteria and were assigned to the treatment with either dose of SEM underwent a dose of an escalation period. I told you it's rather boring and high level. Even just describing the study types is boring. The reason I stated all that is to show you just how high level this is. This would make anyone click off this in a second. Now, the participants of these studies were aged from 53 to 65. Most had heart disease, myocarditis infractions, etc. So let's look at the outcomes. If you view all the positive outcomes on this study, glycemic control was better. But take a close look at how they are listed here. Change from baseline to end of study. Week 30 to week 56 across all studies, and A1C was a primary outcome in all included trials, except for the Sustain 6 and the CNO study. And sustained sticks in the single study changed from baseline to week 30, and A1C was the secondary endpoint. What does the secondary endpoint mean? According to the FDA's own statement, most clinical trials performed in drug development contain multiple endpoints to assess the effects of the drug and to document the ability of the drug to favourably affect one or more disease characteristics. When more than one endpoint is analysed in a single trial, the likelihood of making false conclusions about a drug's effect with respect to one or more of those endpoints could increase if there are no appropriate adjustments for multiplicity. Now, if you look at most of these outcomes, they all mention secondary endpoints. BMI and body weight change from baseline to end of study, and body weight and BMI were secondary efficiency endpoints. Lipid profile, fasting, blood lipids, e.g. total cholesterol, HDL cholesterol and LDL cholesterol were secondary efficiency endpoint in all concluded trials. Doesn't mean the outcomes are wrong, it does shed uncertainty. Keep in mind we are told to trust these studies because it's a study. Furthermore, the review on hospitalization, all cause cardiovascular related, this outcome was not measured in any of these included trials. All cause cardiovascular related, this outcome was assessed in all included trials, and the cases of death required to be confirmed by EAC. Required to be confirmed? Just tell us in the study here. You haven't said if it did or didn't occur. Just a blanket politician-like statement. Now for diabetes, it does seem these drugs are excellent to manage this, and diabetes can be a very serious condition which can lead to loss of limbs and even death. So taking something like this would probably outweigh the risk to reward. Now, a study is a study, but what are the people who take it are actually saying? Well, let's review that. This is where it takes a darker turn. So I went on to drugs.com and reviewed the Ozempic user reviews and ratings. It's a rather mixed bunch actually. Now, keep in mind this is from diabetic patients mostly, not people just abusing this drug to lose some sort of weight. But the side effects and outcomes are important to read here. Let's look at the first two from people who aren't diabetic. Started taking this medication off label for weight loss only. I am not diabetic. Started on August 30th, 2020. First 2 weeks I had some mild nausea, nothing terrible, and some mild dizziness. The past 2 weeks I have had no symptoms. I definitely cannot eat what I used to or will feel sick. I am doing the weekly injection at about 0.25 along with Weight Watchers, and in the past 26 days I have lost 10.5 pounds. My sweet tooth cravings are pretty much gone. Really happy so far. I am increasing to 0.50 mg next week. I'll keep you all posted. The second person, I was hesitant to try Ozempic for weight loss. I need to lose 30 pounds because I have a lot of kids / responsibilities and don't have time to be nauseous or have diarrhea. After keeping the pen in the fridge for weeks, I decided to take an injection. I'm so happy to say I've had zero side effects except for disinterest in food. I'm on week 6 of 0.25 dose because it's enough for me, and I don't see a reason to increase the dose. My lack of interest in food is liberating. For the first time in 30 years, I don't go to bed kicking myself for what I've eaten or making promises to myself to make amends for overeating. Zero sugar cravings, food isn't a reward or pleasure anymore. I'm never ravenous, so I make good, calm choices about what I eat. This has been life-changing and a complete shift in perspective. Obviously, some people have terrible side effects, but I've had none, not even a headache. Now, those reviews both rated the drug as a 10. But let's look at another 10 rating from a diabetic. For type 2 diabetes, I've been on Ozempic for 4 weeks. I'm so glad that my doctor sat me down and told me what to expect. She also asked if I could handle it. She said if you can make it through the 4th week, I will promise it gets better. She was right. I was pretty sick the first 2 weeks and learned that it had a lot to do with me trying to eat my normal intake of food. Once I started to catch a clue and make my portion smaller, I learned it would make me feel better. I could guarantee if I ate too much, I'd feel like crap. People aren't kidding about the side effects, it's real. But I made it and I'm starting to feel better with each day. I've lost 18 pounds now and I'm amazed. Yes, it makes you sick, but if you keep trying to eat like you did, it will be worse. You have to start listening to your body. You can't keep eating your same amount and expect to lose weight. We're getting there. People are starting to talk. Now let's look at the lower reviews. For type 2 diabetes, I took one Ozempic injection at 0.25 and ended up in ER for 2 days later. I had horrible bloating, burping smelled like eggs, unstoppable vomiting and diarrhea. I only took one injection and stopped the medicine. It has been 2 weeks and the medicine is still making me sick. I'm just wondering how long it takes to fully leave your system. I just want to feel human again. I was tested for pancreatitis, but the doctor said they will repeat labs soon. I don't recommend this medication to anyone. Please be safe taking this medication. Another for type 2 diabetes, Ozempic has caused me so much constipation. I know a side effect is diarrhea, but it does the complete opposite for me. A day or two after I take my injection, I have no bowel movements at all. Every week I am forced to take a laxative. It has caused so many problems for me. Anyone else experience severe constipation? So frustrated. And another, I started Ozempic in late December at 0.25 injection. I also take 500 mg of metformin every day. Soon after I started Ozempic, I had decreased appetite and my sugars improved, but I had reflux, gas, bloating, nausea and diarrhea. After 4 weeks, I started 0.50. 2 weeks in, I have bouts of painful constipation, then diarrhea, nausea, bloating, gas, reflux and cramping. I've almost vomited a few times. When I eat, it feels like the food just sits and barely moves through my gut. My doctor wants me to stick with it, saying that these side effects usually improve, but it's been pretty miserable. I'm thinking I'm going to stop taking it. While Ozempic has been effective in regulating my sugars and losing weight, I don't think it's worth the suffering that I've been enduring in this medication. I understand that the study showed it causing thyroid cancer in mice, but no one knows if it causes thyroid cancer in humans. I don't want to be the guinea pig that drug makers use to find out it does. By the way, this study is true, and it did give thyroid cancer to mice. Granted, this wasn't tested or reviewed long enough to see if it affected humans, but still. See, the thing with these studies are they don't follow the participants long enough after they stop the trial. Once the trial stops, the medication stops, and it's over. It's no longer measured or reviewed. We simply don't know what could pop its head up in the future. Let's look at another. I have been on 0.5 Ozempic for 2 months now. The nausea is no better. I vomit almost every day. Driving down the road, I begin to vomit. Almost caused me to wreck my car twice. I have lost 30 pounds and feel terrible. My stomach hurts all the time and now my back. I do not urinate much at all, even though I've increased water. Calling today and going off it. Losing weight is great, but not at the cost of feeling horrible each day. And another. I was put on Ozempic after taking another medication for several years. I started on 0.25 mg, then on 1 mg. Started having the nastiest burps ever, then diarrhea 3 to 4 times a day. I have all the side effects: nasty, offensive smelling burps, eye floaters in both eyes, bad diarrhea, stomach pain, and now this disease that has caused precancerous cells. Yes, my appetite has decreased. I have lost 15 pounds in 3 months, and my numbers are good. But it's not worth being sick every day. I just found out my daughter is going through the exact same thing, so take it at your own risk. Since my first injection, I have felt utterly dreadful. The nausea is one thing, but I have a constant fatigue that prevents me from leading my normal life. I know it suppresses appetite, but I don't have any appetite at all and I cannot face food. I know if I eat, I will feel a bit better, but it's impossible. I actually feel like I've been drugged. Yes, the food noise has gone and I no longer overeat or binge, but I feel like everything is suppressed, like I'm on a strong drug. I did 4 weeks at 0.25 and I'm just done 1 week at 0.5, but I can't do this anymore. I feel utterly dreadful. I am so pleased it's helped so many people, but more research is needed into why some people just can't tolerate it. My doctor gave me Ozempic at 0.5 to start with. I always had upset stomach, diarrhea with most foods, and an overall sick feeling all the time. I was able to live with it until now. She decided to up my dose to 1 and my body went into total chaos. I am always nauseous, constipated, got reflux, feels like my food is stuck in my stomach and doesn't go anywhere. I'm constantly burping and feeling bloated. The sick feeling feels intensified and I cannot function at work. I took my last one this past Friday night and was miserable all weekend long. Today I'm at work unable to function at my best because the nausea is bad. I would say it is effective in lowering your blood sugar numbers and helping you to lose weight, but it's not worth feeling horribly sick over. I will not be using this medication any longer. By the way, there are tons more on this site. I just can't list them all here. The key I want you to take away from this video is that every single drug, vaccine, medication you take has side effects. Some get it mild, some get it bad. Some are even more unlucky and get fatal side effects. Every time you consume a drug, you do so at your own liability and risk. The fact that you should consider is, does the reward outweigh the risk? If it does, then you're better off taking the drug. However, if it does not, and the condition or problem can be solved drug-free, that's obviously the sensible approach. Listen, I know losing weight is hard. Sticking to a routine diet or training schedule is hard, but that's what makes us human. We do the hard stuff. We do the hard work. Hard work doesn't just improve the specific aspect of life, but it improves every aspect of life. It makes us harder. If you're going to just bend the knee at every corner you face at life because it requires a little bit of work and always opt for the easy route, what are you going to be like 20 years from now? Take my advice. Put these weight loss drugs in the bin. You are dicing with the unknown. We don't know what potentials could arise many years from now. Take responsibility for your own doings and actions and implement hard work to sort it. I've been Card from the Ox Den. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. But until next time, I'll see you then.